Third, fourth, and fifth grade leaders, we are at the end of our summer series. This week we are focusing on Psalm 23. And if you are not familiar with Psalm 23, let me read it to you. It may become more familiar as you hear it. The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. He lets me rest in green pasture. He leads me beside quiet waters. He gives me strength and he leads me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even when I go through the darkest valley, I do not fear danger, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Only goodness and faithful love will be with me all the days of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. David wrote this psalm as a reminder for all that God had seen him through. He was a shepherd boy. Remember when Samuel found him, he was tending the sheep. So he understands this picture of the good shepherd Jesus taking care of his sheep. And Jesus even reminds us in John 10 that the good shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. In other words, Jesus came to be that good shepherd, just like David was acknowledging God was for him throughout his life. So during your small group time today, your social activity, one last game with the Fruit Loops. What the kids are going to do is each kid is going to get a chopstick, and you don't want them to share this, okay? Because they're going to put it in their mouth. So this will be their personal chopstick from here until forever, or until it makes it in the trash can. And what they're going to do is take their chopstick and try to pierce a cereal with the chopstick, pick it up, and move it to the other bowl. Obviously, that's a little bit more challenging, and I was really trying not to drool all over everything. So you're going to count how many cereal rings are in the bowl when they're done and put it on your score sheet. Remember, these games we've been doing this summer are to give each kid a chance to play the games. Typically, when we play Minute to Win It games, only 2 people get to play. So this time we wanted it so that everybody could play. Hopefully you've enjoyed those games. And after this week, we'll be done with cereal for a little while. All right. Your small group activity today is called A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. What you're going to do is instruct kids to sit with their heads down and their eyes closed. Then you're going to walk around the room and tap one player on the head, and that player is the wolf. Then you guide the kids to raise their heads and open their eyes. Then you're going to instruct the players to each choose an animal, a cat, a sheep, or a chicken. Explain that you will name 2 animals. Any player who chose one of those animals must stand up and sit in a new seat. Each round, the wolf must also stand up and change seats. The object of the game is for kids to figure out who the wolf is. After several rounds of naming animals, invite volunteers to guess the identity of the wolf. Play additional rounds if time allows. So in other words, the wolf could stand up every time that there's a pair of animals that stand up, or they could choose to be sneaky and stand up every once in a while so that people can't guess who the wolf is. I would encourage kids that as you're playing this game to be as truthful as possible so that it is easier for somebody to figure out who the wolf is. This is kind of like a heads up 7-up kind of game. Or if you've played, what's that spy game where you just look across the room and you have to be able to tell, I'm trying to remember what it's called. My kids have played it many times at camp. Anyway, so it's something similar. Ultimately, what we want to help kids see is what we heard in our Bible story today about how God is like a shepherd. David wrote a psalm to praise God. David compared God's love, protection, and guidance for his people to that provided by a shepherd for his sheep. Jesus is the good shepherd. He laid down his life to save people from sin. Because of Jesus, we will live with God forever. And then your memory verse activity, last puzzle. And as you can tell, it's different words. Today we put in Psalm 23, and so they will need to fill in the words for the rest of that psalm and then find the words in the puzzle. I think that's it. One of the things I would like to let you know is fifth graders today during small group time are going to take a few minutes to go upstairs and check out student ministry and see what happens during student ministry. Russell will be able to spend a few minutes with them, explaining to them what happens and how it happens and what they're going to do next week. Next week is Move Up Sunday. That means you don't move, but your kids move to you, and you're going to get to have a new set of kids with a lot of excitement because school starts in one more week. Next week, we should have popcorn with parents after each service to give parents an idea of what we're doing in children's ministry and where we're going. Also, want to remind you at the end of the month, we'll pick up and do our leader huddles again. If you've never been to one of these, you should come. We have a great time together. We have amazing food that's all free. Childcare is completely free for your kids. This year, we're going to help our childcare team have specific activities for your kids to do every time they're with us. So you don't want to miss this opportunity to grow together as a small group leader. And we also, this next year, are going to focus on spiritual growth and looking at practical tools that we can be doing individually so that we're continuing to grow so that we can help kids grow. Thank you for leading. If you have any questions, please feel free to get with me at any time.